Rivers run dry, dust spreads in the air. Two dark days, do you have a tear to
It's your Top
spare?
News host, Bonnie Hawkins. Top News brings you footage of Ukraine being heavily bombed, with Russian troops on the move. The date is March 12, 2022. This video shows conclusively that Russia is simply aiming at anything in its path. Look at this detailed footage, not seen on most Western channels.
24th of February 2022. Russian troops entered Ukraine, hoping for a quick and decisive victory. The Russian Air Force was also pressed into action. It dropped cruise missiles on strategic targets in Ukraine. It destroyed key military bases through drone strikes. These opening salvos led to predictions of a blistering assault. Security experts said Russia would soon dominate Ukraine's skies.
Russia, I expect, will try to seek a rapid conclusion of this conflict as soon as possible. It has no interest or should have no interest in prolonging this conflict.
16 days on, these predictions have proven to be wrong. Forget the whole of Ukraine, Russia has not even been able to secure Kyiv's airspace. Ukrainian fighter jets are still out and about, carrying out defensive counterattack sorties. Does this mean the Russian Air Force is failing? The answer depends on who you ask. Ukraine claims Russia has been unable to gain air superiority. It blames the failure on logistical breakdowns, poor air-ground coordination, lack of precision-guided munitions, and a limited number of experienced pilots. Others, however, don't entirely agree with these claims. They say Russia may have deliberately restrained itself, that it's holding its fighter fleets in reserves, either for later use in this war or in anticipation of a bigger one.
It's frankly miraculous that they have allowed the Ukrainian Air Force to remain operational 8 days into the war, when they should have theoretically had the capabilities to ground it very early on in operations. So a lot of those higher-end Russian capabilities that we would expect, we haven't actually seen used yet.
So, whose assessment is correct? Is the Russian Air Force failing? Or is it saving its firepower for a bigger fight? Experts in Moscow say both assessments are wrong. They say Russia is not mounting a full-scale attack because it's concerned about civilian casualties and wants to give Ukrainians enough time to leave. The opening of humanitarian corridors is being cited as proof.
From 10 a.m. on the 8th of March 2022, there will be a ceasefire and they will open humanitarian corridors in Kyiv, Mariupol and Sumy towards Russian territory for those who wish to evacuate through that logistically viable route, but also towards Ukrainian territory.
Perhaps Russia also wants to avoid damaging critical infrastructure, installations which it hopes to take over and use in the future. After all, Ukraine is not Syria. It's a former republic of the Soviet Union. Raining a volley of missiles on its cities doesn't make sense for Moscow. Not only will it undermine support for Putin back home, it could also further alienate Ukrainians whom he wants to win over. So what appears to be a failure of the Russian air attack may be a part of their strategic plan.